Los Angeles Lakers are wasting time unnecessarily and already have a new move in sight to replace Anthony Davis. But here comes the shocker: the Utah Jazz could be in this game. What did Rob Pelinka surprise everyone with, and what is going to completely change the fate of the season? But was it the right decision? The Lakers are in a huge risk and will remain so until the end of the season, because this move could leave everyone speechless. First of all, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content, because more videos will be released about everything related to the Lakers. Turn on the bell and select all notifications to receive the latest news firsthand. The Lakers backstage area continues to be busy. The goal is to reach 60 likes on this video. In the last one, we found a target in less than an hour, and that just proves that Lakers fans are engaged. Now, speaking of the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers made a shocking move, an unexpected trade with the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Dončić would be involved in a surprising deal that would send Anthony Davis to Dallas. This trade has fans and analysts excited, generating speculation about the new team dynamics and the impact of this change. Davis's departure creates a significant hole in the Lakers' defense and rebounding. To address this issue, the team could look to add reinforcements. One of the top targets on the Lakers' radar is Indiana Pacers' Myles Turner. Turner has solid defense and the ability to space the floor, making him an ideal candidate to replace Davis. However, the Pacers are unwilling to release him without a significant offer in return. Another name that has been rumored is Jakob Poeltl, currently with the San Antonio Spurs. He has a strong defensive presence and good rebuilding skills, which could provide the kind of presence in the paint that the Lakers need. As with Turner, negotiations with the Spurs could be tricky, and it is not yet known whether they are willing to accept a trade. The Lakers have also expressed interest in Jonas Valanciunas from the Washington Wizards. He is a strong piece in the paint and could help bolster the team's defense. However, the acquisition will depend on the Wizards' willingness to trade him and the assets the Lakers are willing to offer. In the meantime, the team will need to rely on its current roster to fill Davis's absence. Jackson Hayes and Christian Wood will have more important roles in the paint. Both have potential, but there are questions about their consistency and whether they can maintain a high level of performance throughout the season. The arrival of Luka Dončić, if it comes to fruition, will undoubtedly elevate the Lakers' offensive level. His playmaking and scoring ability could form a strong partnership with LeBron James, creating a duo that could cause plenty of problems for opposing defenses. However, the success of this partnership will depend on the team's balance and its ability to compete at a high level on both ends of the court. Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka is under intense pressure to make strategic decisions that can transform the team into a real championship contender. With the NBA trade deadline approaching, the urgency to resolve these issues increases. Fans are eagerly awaiting news about potential trades and signings. Expectations are high, with many speculating which players could wear the purple and gold in the coming weeks. Anthony Davis's departure has also sparked debate about the Lakers' long-term planning. Some analysts believe Dončić's arrival would signal a shift in focus to building a young core around him, setting him up to become the face of the franchise in the future. On the other hand, some argue that the Lakers should focus on the present since LeBron James is still playing at a high level. Within this vision, the team must look for experienced players who can contribute immediately and increase their chances of winning another title. Finding the right balance between these two approaches will be a major challenge for the board. Any potential trade-off will require balancing immediate needs with future plans, as decisions made now could have lasting consequences for the franchise. With the trade deadline approaching, the Lakers are actively negotiating with different teams, looking at a variety of scenarios, from straight player swaps to more complex deals involving multiple teams. The Lakers' coaching staff is also preparing for potential changes. Depending on the reinforcements that come in, coaches may need to adjust their strategies and rotations to integrate new players efficiently. This flexibility will be essential to maintaining team cohesion and performance during this transition phase. The role of leadership within the roster will be crucial. Veterans like LeBron James will need to keep the group focused and motivated, helping the team deal with the uncertainties caused by roster changes. His experience and charisma will make a difference at this time. Lakers fans, known for their passion and loyalty, are watching every move. While some are excited, others are concerned, waiting to see how the front office will address the roster gaps. The big hope is that the decisions made now will not only make up for Davis's departure, but also strengthen the team for the years to come. The media follows the Lakers closely, and commentators have divided opinions on the team's strategy. Some praise the boldness of Dončić's possible arrival, considering it a brilliant move that could change the course of the franchise. Others warn that, without defensive reinforcements, the aspiration to the title may still be far away. The Lakers' recent moves are already having a ripple effect on other NBA teams, which are carefully evaluating how the changes in Los Angeles could impact their own strategies and the league's competitiveness. After all, The arrival of a player like Luka Dončić to an iconic team like the Lakers could redefine the NBA hierarchy. The big question now is, what will be the Lakers' next move? The board has little time to decide what the best strategy will be to complete the squad and ensure that the team is ready to face the challenges of the rest of the season. Now, the team's confidence will be tested. Do you believe the Lakers are ready for this new era, or is this a risky move? Regardless of what happens, the future of the franchise promises to be exciting. After all, Luka Dončić donning purple and gold is a sight few expected. However, there is one point that could become the biggest nightmare for Lakers fans. The departure of Anthony Davis has opened a giant hole in the team's defense. And we're not just talking about cold statistics like blocks and rebounds. The impact goes far beyond that. Davis was the Lakers' defensive anchor, the player who protected the paint while LeBron James focused on offense. Without him, the team could become vulnerable against the league's dominant centers like Nikola Jokic and Joel Embiid. Can you imagine the Lakers facing these giants without a defensive response to match? The board knows this risk is real. Rob Pelinka is racing against time to find a solution. But here comes the worrying part. The market for elite centers is increasingly scarce, and available names are rare. Can the Lakers fill that void in time? The only certainty is that the future of the franchise is at stake, and what happens in the coming weeks could define the team's direction for years to come. With that in mind, the Lakers need to act smartly to prevent Davis's absence from compromising their ambitions. The pressure on Pelinka is immense, and any mistake at this point could cost not only the season, but also LeBron James' confidence in the franchise's project. While the behind-the-scenes is in turmoil, the players will also need to adapt. LeBron will have to take on even more responsibility, both in scoring and offensive organization. Luka Dončić, if the deal actually goes through, will need to adjust quickly to the new environment, as Lakers fans do not have the patience for long adaptation periods. Defensively, the Lakers will need to find alternatives to compensate for Davis's absence. That could mean tactical changes, such as using smaller, more dynamic formations to speed up the game, or even relying on defensive schemes that protect the paint without a dominant center. Opponents, on the other hand, are already watching the Lakers closely. Teams like the Denver Nuggets and Milwaukee Bucks know that their weakened defense can be exploited, and if the Lakers don't shore up that area, they could be in serious trouble against the title contenders. The question now is, will Pelinka have enough time and resources to find a viable solution? The answer will likely come in the coming weeks, but one thing is certain: the Lakers are at a critical juncture, where every move could define the fate of the franchise. The Lakers know they can't afford to make any more mistakes. Each loss without adequate reinforcement will only increase the pressure on Pelinka and the front office, while their direct competitors continue to strengthen their rosters. The clock is ticking, and any hesitation could cost them dearly. Behind the scenes, rumors are swirling that the Lakers are exploring other, less obvious options to bolster their frontcourt. Experienced and underrated players in the league could emerge as alternatives if negotiations for Turner, Poeltl or Valanciunas become unviable. The international market could also be explored, and some argue that the team could invest in emerging talent rather than spending precious resources on complicated trades. Meanwhile, Darvin Ham and his coaching staff are already working through the available scenarios. If the reinforcements don't arrive in time, tactical adjustments will be inevitable. The coach could try Anthony Davis playing more minutes at the 5 position when he's available, or opt for a more versatile system, rotating players in the paint to avoid overloading. The concern, however, is that these temporary solutions won't sustain the Lakers in the long run. Fans are growing impatient and are beginning to question whether the franchise really has a clear plan or is simply reacting to circumstances. LeBron James, who is always keeping an eye on the front office's moves, may not like what he sees if the team doesn't show enough ambition to compete at the highest level. If there was ever a time for the Lakers to take a bold, definitive step, it is now. The window to build a championship team with LeBron still at his peak is closing, and every decision made in the coming weeks could be the difference between glory and another season of disappointment. The Lakers' front office, aware of the urgency, is stepping up behind-the-scenes negotiations. Sources close to the franchise indicate that Rob Pelinka is willing to give up future draft picks and even young talent if it means landing a key player to keep the team competitive. However, finding a trade partner willing to accept those terms has proven to be a challenge. Meanwhile, in the locker room, the mood is uncertain. Players who could be involved in a trade are trying to stay focused, but they know that any moment could bring a sudden change in their careers. Christian Wood and Jared Vanderbilt, for example, have been mentioned in speculation, which could affect their mindset on the court. LeBron James, for his part, continues to set the tone for the team. His public speech is full of confidence, but behind the scenes he is pressuring the board for reinforcements. The Lakers star knows that his time in the NBA elite will not last forever, and that each season without a team capable of competing for the title is a missed opportunity. The big question is whether the Lakers can make a big move before the trade deadline. If not, they will need to rely on the chemistry of the current roster and the development of the players already on the roster. The bet on Davis's recovery and Dončić's quick adaptation, if confirmed, will be a definitive test of the franchise's ambitions. The future of the Lakers will be decided soon. Every pick, every trade or stay, every tactical adjustment and every game from now on will have a decisive impact on their quest for success. The fans, as always, will be watching closely, hoping that the team lives up to its winning tradition. With pressure mounting and the trade deadline approaching, the Lakers continue to evaluate all possibilities. Rob Pelinka is in constant contact with other executives around the league, looking for the best opportunity to strengthen the team without compromising the future of the franchise. However, with the market increasingly inflated and few viable options available, negotiations become even more challenging. At the same time on the court, the team needs to remain competitive. Coach Darvin Ham is starting to experiment with different formations, trying to maximize the potential of the players already on the roster. The rotation is constantly adjusting, with LeBron James taking on even more responsibilities in creating plays and Austin Reeves being tested as a secondary facilitator. The expectation is that, regardless of the arrival of new reinforcements, the team will be able to maintain a level of play that allows it to compete for the playoffs. Anthony Davis's absence remains a glaring issue, especially against teams that dominate the paint. In recent games, the Lakers have struggled to contain dominant centers, and this further reinforces the need for a capable replacement. Myles Turner continues to be the most speculated name, but talks with the Pacers have not progressed due to the demands of the Indiana team. Meanwhile, fans are still anxious for news. With each rumor that emerges, social media explodes with debates about which path the Lakers should take. Many believe that the priority should be to win now, taking advantage of LeBron's final years at his peak. Others advocate a more balanced approach, thinking about the future and avoiding compromising valuable assets in risky trades. Given this scenario, time becomes the Lakers' greatest enemy. Each game without a solution increases the pressure on the board, the coaching staff and the players themselves. The moment of decision is near, and any wrong move could cost not only the season, but also the confidence that this team can still fight for titles. With each passing day, the tension behind the scenes grows. The Lakers need to act quickly, but without compromising the team's balance. The board knows that a hasty move could bring irreversible consequences, both for this season and for the coming years. Still, the need for reinforcement in the paint cannot be ignored, and the search for a solution continues at full steam. On the court, LeBron James and Luka Dončić are trying to build a chemistry that can make up for the team's defensive shortcomings. Their offensive talent is undeniable, and there are times when the duo seems unstoppable, but the lack of a dominant defensive presence continues to be exploited by opponents. Against more physical teams, the Lakers suffer from a lack of a reliable rim protector, which makes the arrival of a big-name reinforcement all the more urgent. Faced with the difficulty of finding a center available on the market, the Lakers are beginning to consider internal solutions. Christian Wood and Jackson Hayes are receiving more minutes, in the hope that one of them can fill part of the void left by Davis. Wood, despite being talented on offense, struggles on defense, while Hayes shows flashes of potential but still lacks consistency. The coaching staff is working hard to maximize the performance of these players, but uncertainty looms over the team. In the Lakers' offices, Pelinka evaluates proposals involving multiple teams, trying to find a deal that makes sense for all parties. One possibility discussed behind the scenes involves a complex trade, with the Lakers receiving a center and sending draft picks to a third interested team. Such negotiations require patience and strategy, as any detail could cause the deal to fall apart. Fans are impatiently awaiting concrete news. The clock is ticking, and the window for change is closing. The Lakers board knows it needs to make the right decision, because the fate of the season, and possibly the future of the franchise, depends on it. In the coming days, the team may undergo a definitive transformation, or will need to find the strength within itself to overcome the challenges and continue dreaming of the title. As negotiations drag on, the Lakers are in a race against time. With each game, the need for reinforcements in the paint becomes more evident. Opponents exploit this weakness, attacking the team's interior defense and generating easy points inside the paint. LeBron James and Luka Dončić do their best to compensate for defensive vulnerabilities with an efficient offense, but without a solid structure on defense, the chances of long-term success decrease drastically. Behind the scenes, the mood is one of urgency. Poeltl continues to explore all possibilities, evaluating both experienced players and less hyped options. One name that has emerged as an alternative is Clint Capela, from the Atlanta Hawks. With his ability to protect the rim and grab rebounds, he could provide the physical presence that the Lakers so desperately need. However, the Hawks demand significant assets in return, which makes the negotiation complex. Meanwhile, other league executives are starting to monitor the Lakers' situation with interest. Direct rivals know that any move by the team could alter the balance of the conference, and some franchises may try to make negotiations more difficult by raising the price of their players or inserting themselves as third teams in trades to seek their own advantages. This dynamic means that each decision Poeltl makes must be calculated with surgical precision. Meanwhile, in the locker room, Darvin Ham stresses the importance of resilience. The coach knows that, regardless of the management's moves, the team needs to stay together. Tactical adjustments continue to be tested, including smaller formations and a greater emphasis on transition play. The idea is to minimize the damage caused by the absence of a dominant center, taking advantage of the team's speed and versatility. The fans, always passionate and demanding, are no longer hiding their anxiety. Many question whether the board will be able to deliver the necessary changes in time. With the trade deadline fast approaching, the Lakers are at a crossroads. Make a bold decision that could change the course of the season or risk moving forward with the current roster, trusting that internal adjustments will be enough to keep the team competitive. The next few days will be decisive. The immediate future of the franchise is at stake, and every move, or lack thereof, could define the Lakers' fate this season. With the trade deadline fast approaching, the Lakers front office is entering its most critical phase of decision-making. Rob Pelinka is in intense talks, seeking to strike a deal that strengthens the team without compromising the franchise's future too much. The options on the market are dwindling, and any hesitation could mean missing out on the chance to secure a key reinforcement for the final stretch of the season. On the court, LeBron James continues to lead with his experience, while Luka Dončić demonstrates his offensive genius, creating plays and keeping the team competitive. However, the lack of a defensive anchor remains evident. The coaching staff insists on tactical adjustments, but the results are still not ideal. Each game without a solution reinforces the need for a roster shakeup before it is too late. Fans, as always, are following each update with great anticipation. Social media is abuzz, with opinions divided on which trades would be ideal. Some are urging patience, while others are pushing for immediate changes. What everyone agrees on is that the Lakers cannot afford to waste another season without a truly competitive team. Now, all that remains is to wait for the developments of the negotiations. At any moment, a twist could completely change the fate of the franchise. Will the Lakers be able to strengthen their roster in time? Will they be able to keep the hope of another title alive? While we wait for the next developments, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss any news about the Lakers. Stay tuned, because the season promises to be very exciting.